Having a mentor, having someone that you can send a quick message to, that you can have a resource and go and be able to run by, what your situation is invaluable. A person's wealth is determined by their assets, investments, and things that they own. I say true wealth is about how you live it. Your girl is back. Welcome to season 2 of Wealth Within Reach. Welcome back to another episode of Wealth Within Reach, and thank you so much for being here. All right, so today I am talking to the DIY real estate investors. You know who you are. You're do-it-yourself people. I'll just do it. I'll do that too. I'll clean too. I'll self-manage too. I'll paint too. This is you. I know you here. I get it. I did it too. I did it for years. I did all the things. We figured out all the things. I remember there's a situation in one of our houses. We wanted to save money, right? And so he decided he's going to install the backsplash. It took him a week to install the backsplash. It took him at least 5 days to try to figure out first how to do it on YouTube, and then how to figure out how to cut and do all the things. When now I know I can hire a contractor to do it in a day, right? I get it. I've been there before. It can feel overwhelming to come up with more money to pay someone else. I get it. But guess what? I want to talk to you about skipping the line. I want to talk to you about taking the fast track, okay? Have you been to Disney? You don't go to Disney without buying the fast track band, okay? That's what we're talking about today. I want to help you fast track your real estate investment so you can skip the line. And a lot of times when you're skipping the line, you're skipping all of those hairy, costly mistakes because you don't know what you don't know. I get it. Every other episode, I've been talking to you about cut expenses, trim this way, trim the fat, review this. I get it. But knowledge and strategy and being able to get access to have foresight on moves you need to make is not a place where you need to cut, okay? A part of moving from a DIY, do-it-yourself investor to truly being able to scale a business, first and foremost, you have to go from having an employee mindset to having a CEO mindset. An employee mindset is so cost and price focused, and they're just focused on tell me what to do and I do it, right? But a CEO is setting the vision. The CEO has a vision and they know where they're going, okay? And they focus on how do I find the who, not the what of how to accomplish what I need to accomplish. Shifting from a DIY mindset to a CEO mindset is really the foundation of what it will take to scale your business. And why are we interested in scaling our business? Because guess what? You're not going to find financial freedom or build like true wealth or be rich with 1 or 2, maybe even 3 real estate properties. It's going to take a few different long-term strategic moves for you to really move the needle in your business. And because I know you want to be able to own your time. You want to be able to homeschool your kids. You want to be able to travel. You want to be able to be work optional. All of those whys that you have, in order to accomplish that, you got to do what I'm talking about right now, okay? Because if you don't, you'll turn around and you'll be jumping from one job to the other. And again, we don't do this to create another job. We do this to be able to create time freedom. I'm going to walk you through a few things to consider that's going to help you begin to make that switch from DIY to a CEO real estate investor. Number 1, start small. If I know that I'm getting overwhelmed, that's a really good sign that I probably need to ask for help. I need to delegate something. But you may be in a position where you're like, I don't know. I'm dealing with tenant issues. I'm dealing with different legal compliance with this HOA situation. I'm getting bad reviews with this property. I have a tenant. The notice is coming up. I really don't even know where to start. There's so many things going on. I always say to just make a list of every single thing that you're doing. Do a time inventory. Are you tired of wasting so much time pulling data, reviewing comps, and trying to put together the financing to do your next deal? Guess what? You don't have to do all that. Backflip helps you to analyze properties instantly, helps you to pull high quality comps. You can actually apply for loans directly through the app while also choosing your best investment strategy. All you have to do is download the free Backflip app now and go on your way to make smarter, faster, and more profitable decisions today. What I like about time inventories are, let's say you take a week of your time and you document every single thing that you're doing within that week. Not only do you document what you're doing within that week, you then say, how much time did it take me to do XYZ? So you may say, okay, it took me 3 hours in a week to respond to different messages on Airbnb. It took me another 4 hours to clean, okay? In addition to writing out how much time it takes, also write out what was your energy level like when you were doing that task. Did it drain you to clean? Or are you happy? Did it actually bring you joy? Did it bring you life? Whatever the task was. Why is that important? Why is it important of your energy level with that task? Because when we do things that drain us, it actually depletes us, okay? And it takes away from us being willing to actually do more things and accomplish more of our dreams because we feel exhausted. I know some of you probably have a job, whether it's your job or your boss, where you give that 40 hours a week and at the end of the day, you're drained. You're mentally exhausted to where you can't even think about anything else. If you're mentally exhausted, then it's going to be really hard to work on your side hustle. It's going to be really hard to invest in your education. That's why it's important to actually be able to document whether things are draining you or giving you energy. If you recognize that you have certain tasks that give you energy, then what happens when you do something that gives you energy? You have more energy to do other things, right? This is why taking a time inventory is so important, so you can actually do an assessment to figure out what is giving you energy and what is draining you. This will then determine the things that are draining you. Even if it's 1 or 2 things that you can actually delegate, these are things that is really good to get off of your plate so that you can add more things that are giving you energy so you can actually be more productive. Trying to force yourself to do things that are draining that can be delegated is not smart, okay? It is not smart. All right. And so these are the things that I want to help you get off your plate. And you can start small, looking out for a virtual assistant to help you do basic things like create your online document system. Maybe you need to organize your loan documents, your insurance information, so you're not scrambling every time when it's time to buy a new property. Hiring a bookkeeper. This was one of the first tasks that I delegated that I hesitated to delegate because it's so easy to do it, right? It's so easy. I can just do it myself. But I looked up and I never did it. And because I never did it, I didn't really know how much money I was making. And then guess what? I delegated it to a bookkeeper and it ended up being like less than $150 a month. I was like, oh my gosh, why was I waiting on this? Okay. So you can start really small. Hiring a virtual assistant. I have clients who have virtual assistants help them with just various tasks, run comps, look at deals, process loan paperwork when they go under contract, all these things. And the beautiful thing is they pay them for as little as 3 hours a week. Okay. So whether it is a virtual assistant, it is a bookkeeper, even maybe a property manager, start small and just begin crossing off those things on your list that drain you and delegating those tasks and adding more things on your list that actually give you energy. Number 2, actually finding a mentor. When you are a DIY investor, you are truly just like figuring it out, right? But at some point, after making so many different mistakes, you're realizing that you are actually like leaving money on the table. Did you know that not only am I a real estate investor, but I am also a licensed real estate agent, and I have a team of investor-friendly agents here in Atlanta too? My agents are amazing, and we help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate all over the Atlanta area. So if you are thinking about buying, selling, or investing in the Atlanta area, you can book a free 15-minute consultation with one of my agents, and we can figure out where you need to be. Go to the link down below and book your call. So recently I had a client who initially wanted to be mentored by me, but she said, oh, you know what? It's X amount of money. Oh, I can use that for my down payment. I'll just go and buy the property myself. Right. So they use that money to go and buy the property themselves and miss all kind of stuff. Right. She thought, okay, because I'm going to put this property on Section 8, I'm going to be able to get this amount of money in rent. So I should be good to go. But because she didn't know what she didn't know that Just because it says you can get $2,000 in rent on the payment schedule doesn't mean that they will actually pay you $2,000 for that property. So it ended up she bought a property that wasn't cash flowing. That's why it's important to invest in mentorship, because there's so many things that you don't know what you don't know. And you can either spend hours trying to comb through YouTube episodes, asking super detailed questions in Facebook group, and still spend all of that time and still not have full clarity and feel confident in the moves that you're making so that you know that you are making the right decision. Having a mentor, having someone that you can send a quick message to, that you can have a resource and go and be able to run by, what your situation is invaluable. I have a mentor. My mentor has a mentor. Honestly, really high achieving, successful people, everyone that I know, they have some kind of mentor. We're not out here just like doing stuff. We're not out here just spending thousands and thousands of dollars on stuff, just winging it. We hire a mentor because we want to fast track the process, and we want to leverage someone else's experience to get there faster without making tons of costly mistakes, right? Going from DIY investor to a CEO investor, you're looking at, again, who can I invest in to figure out how to do the what? So many times. And I've shared with you some of these stories on the podcast where I've had people who have wanted to invest in real estate for years. And they say, because I don't have the money, I don't have the money. They finally invest in working with me, and I help them find the money, because that's what I do. Okay. So if you decide to take a risk, act on faith, make the investment, the very thing that you think is holding you back may be on the other side of it, okay? What I say is, a lot of times DIY investors, lastly, are focused on price, not value. Let me tell you how you know you are a person that's focused on price, not value. If the first time you figure out that you probably need to hire someone, if your first question to yourself is how much they cost, you are focused on price, not value. What I want you to focus on instead is, okay, what do they offer me? How will they help me? What value do they give me? Okay. And then we're going to back into the price. I have a friend of mine who grew up in a really challenged situation as far as financially. And we don't realize that even though she's still not in that situation, she still struggles with being able to actually put money to invest in herself. And so I was talking to her on the phone and I couldn't hear her. It was just really ruffled noises. And I was like, do you have me on headphones? Do you have me on speaker? She was like, headphones. And I was like, why do your headphones sound like that? Where do you get your headphones from? And she laughed and she was like, the dollar store. And I was like, girl, how often are you having to buy headphones? And she was like, oh, once a month. And I was like, do you know how much that is after a whole year or 2 years? You can just go to invest and buy actual really good headphones one time, and it will probably last you for 2 to 3 years versus constantly, driving to the store, going back, buying new headphones, they breaking again because your sound quality is off, and now you're going to buy new headphones again. This is an example of being focused on price, not value. I don't want this to be you. This is going to actually hold you back because you're so focused on price, and you're going to constantly be in that car driving back and forth to Family Dollar. Okay. Is that you? Because I don't want that to be you. This is how you know it's time to make the shift. You have an opportunity and you want to move on it, but you missed the opportunity because you couldn't make it in time. Maybe you couldn't put the offer in because you were focused on doing something else. That's a great sign that you need to make a shift and that you are actually holding yourself back by trying to do everything yourself. If scaling up, buying multiple properties, being able to truly experience financial freedom through real estate is your goal, I highly, highly suggest that you find a mentor. A mentor could just be a safe space to help you to learn things that you may not have thought of how to do that could actually help you with your real estate portfolio. 2, can just run by different scenarios so that you know that you're making good moves. And 3, be a resource to connect you to, different lenders and contractors so that you don't have to start from scratch. I'm really excited to see how you're going to take this information and how you're going to grow and become a CEO investor and move away from being a DIY investor. So if you haven't already joined my free Facebook group, I need you to come and join us right now so that I can connect with you and you can let me know what your plan is to get out that rat race and go from DIY to CEO. All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening to this episode, and I will see you on the next one. Hey friend, have you been enjoying this podcast and you're like, okay, Erica, how can I connect with you and other of your amazing guests that are on the podcast? You can do that within the Owning It and Living It Facebook group. I have the Owning It and Living It Facebook group to help to foster community with other like-minded real estate investors. Folks are sharing advice, I'm sharing tips, and we're fostering community so we can help take our real estate investments to the next level. If you are ready to do that, I want you to join the Owning It and Living It Facebook group. You can go to the link in the bio to join today.